じて
Alright, welcome back to the episode of the Nighttime series. I just want to talk about my Eternity of Pain journey finally being over. It was a massive slog, but it's finally done. And yeah, I just want to talk about that. And I also want to go over Spider-Man Supreme and why I think he's such an amazing character. Like, the Eternity of Pain run that I just did with him really opened my eyes on the champion because he's such a powerful character. So yeah, I just want to go over Spider-Man Supreme, go over my Eternity of Pain, like, overall review, and yeah, let's get right into it. So, it took me about, 5 days to complete the Eternity of Pain challenges. I'm pretty happy with that. It was a very, very, tough grind. I had to just farm so many revives, so many potions. I cannot look at CGR the same way after my potion farming, dude. I used, him for 100 and something fights. It was just miserable. He's a pretty fun character, at least, but after using 150 times, it gets very bad. And it was 150 times per go, because I farmed up a lot of potions per run. Near the end, the Spider-Verse one and the A-Force one, I just could not be bothered, man, so I didn't even farm that many potions. I farmed 50 or so, but that's still 50 Realm of Legends fights that you have to go through with CGR, and it was just, man, such a slog. I did change it up a bit sometimes, sometimes I went with Hercules, sometimes I used, Thor, just really strong damage dealers that can get the fight done in less than a minute. So yeah, overall, potion farming was probably the worst part of it. Revive farming was pretty fun because you can just auto fight it with Platpool. Platpool is the MVP for Eternity of Pain just because he is so fast at farming revives. So yeah, overall, that part really sucked for Eternity of Pain. But then I have to talk about, of course, the actual fights, And for the most part, it wasn't too bad. Hercules is the MVP for sure, by far. He gets the first 4 fights done in a very low amount of revives. But if you don't have him, don't worry, there's a plenty of other substitutes. CGR is a good substitute. I heard Tiger's pretty good as well. There's a lot of substitutes. But yeah, the main part is the last 4 fights I have to use the tag champions for. And some of the fights are really annoying. The left side is terrible. The left side is absolutely terrible. I only did the left side once, and it was the robots challenge, just because Warlock is good for the Warlock fight, and Nebula is good for the Dragman fight. But besides that, avoid that path with a 10-foot pole, because Terrax is terrible, man. In my opinion, he is the worst EOP boss, just because they didn't think through the rock field scaling of a 7-star, maxed out Terrax. So the damage is just, nuts. You take so much damage from the rock field that you, die in a couple of ticks. It's really, really bad. It is, really poorly designed, in my opinion. But, this is supposed to be hard content, so I guess it makes sense. But, yeah. Not a fun time on the left side. MODOK is always annoying. MODOK is actually not too bad with Nebula, but with every other tag champion, I imagine it's pretty terrible. Blade he's a weird fight, but he's not too hard. Dragon Man, easy with Nebula, not as easy with the other tag champions. So yeah, left side, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Only go for the robots one on that side so you can get full completion of the Eternity of Pain. But after that, just go to the right side. Take the first 4 fights with Hercules if you have them. And then the penny isn't bad with okay, so every tag champ, every separate tag has one good penny counter. That's the important thing, right? I guess it's the worst in the Thunderbolts one, because you have to use a fully boosted ghost, which can kind of suck, but there's also Juggernaut, so there's not the biggest worry there. Icarus isn't too bad at all once you get his rotation down. Scorpion can be pretty annoying sometimes, but you can just burst him down with any proper damage dealer. That is a very good strategy. But he can get pretty annoying with the power gain and then the linger, And Kraven can be done with pretty much anyone. So yeah, the right side isn't too bad. The Thanos fight is very fun in my opinion. I think it's a pretty fun fight. The cocoon phase, it's annoying to hit into his block multiple times, but once you get it down, it's not too bad. The reverse controls is very fun. The illusion is very fun as well. The final phase can be a bit annoying if you don't properly heal up. If you just use 20% revives, you'll have a very bad time. So I do suggest bringing some potions for that fight specifically. So yeah, overall, the Eternity of Pain, not too bad. And I did open my rewards already, and I just want to say, I cannot wait to show y'all tomorrow because I pulled my most wanted character and I just wanted to scream, man. I wanted to scream so loud because I was just so happy because I've been hunting this character for so long and I finally have them. And my 4 to 5 gem was pretty interesting because there's a really fun option that I can take up, and there's a very like powerful and effective option that I can take up. So I'm like really debating it. I still haven't done the rank up yet. I'm like still thinking over my options. But yeah, who knows how I'll take up, man. I really do not know yet. But yeah, that's gonna be it for Eternity of Pain. Overall, very solid event. Pretty challenging at times, but you know what? It was supposed to be. So yeah, overall, great event, great rewards, and yeah, now let's talk about Spider-Man Supreme. So yeah, Spider-Man Supreme, he rocks. He's such a good character, man. Like, I feel like he's been underrated for so long now. Because, okay, well, he is new, so you can't really call him underrated at this point. He was released in October, so it's only been like a couple of months. But he is such a good character, man. Like, his damage output is phenomenal. He's a very, like, high basic attack damage dealer. And it's good because he's a Mystic character, right? And that's pretty, like, unique for a Mystic champion. I feel like Mystic isn't really known for their damage output. Well, honestly, as of recently, they kind of are. Like, you know, Tiger is just, like, one of the most broken damage dealers in the entire game. But Spider-Man Supreme, he's a very niche character as well, and that's what I love about him because, you know, niche characters are really valuable these days because there's just so many, like, best options. And niche characters are built to like where they are the best option for something, so you'll always have a use for them, right? So I think it's a pretty valuable asset of Spider-Man Supreme. Like the Kraven fight, he just cheesed it so well because of the unblockable like mechanic that he has. Basically, when you're in your astral form and you take a hit, or like you like phase a hit, usually it goes on cooldown, right? But if the opponent has an unblockable buff, then it doesn't go on cooldown. You can just keep like going for the phase. So yeah, that's a pretty awesome mechanic. And Kraven is like fully unblockable like throughout the entire fight. So you just never get the, like, astral form on cooldown. So it's a really awesome interaction. And also for Icarus, he's just great for, like, he has very awesome damage output for the fight. He has pretty good, like, heavy attack range, too, for, like, countering Icarus's SP1. And he's also a Mystic character, so, you know, Icarus can't really, like, do much damage to you. So, yeah, pretty good for those fights. I didn't test him versus Thanos, though, because I used Stark Spidey for that. But, yeah, like, overall, Spider-Man Supreme has pretty good interactions with certain buffs. Like Fury buffs, for example, he can steal them and like get his own Fury buffs, and they just add so much damage to the character. He like does a ton of damage when he has his own Fury buffs. And yeah, he can cheese things like that. Overall, just a very cheesy character that's also pretty solid in like general fights. So yeah, he comes out in the feature crystal in like 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try to pull him. I'm gonna try to rank for him. Hopefully I can get him. And yeah, that's enough about Spider-Man Supreme. And that'll conclude this episode. Let me know your thoughts on the Eternity of Pain. For me, I think it's a pretty awesome event. And let me know your thoughts on Spider-Man Supreme. I think it's a really interesting character that's going to grow on a lot of people. So I cannot wait to see how like he progresses as the game goes on. And be on the lookout for rewards opening tomorrow. I cannot wait to show y'all what I pulled, because one of the pulls is just like absolutely amazing for me. And yeah, it's about it for me.